Hey guys, it's CDTVThaG here, and the G of course stands for goodbye to the LED lights that I had in the background of my videos that you couldn't even see because my head was in the way. Unfortunately, I got them from eBay for like £5 or something like that, and it turns out the adhesive on them that sticks them to the mantelpiece over there, it's not very strong. That came loose, they don't stick anymore, and I've had to throw them out. I will buy some new ones soon, but for now, there's no LEDs in the background that you can't even see. But with that being said, of course, we are here today to react to Harverd Dropout by Lil Pumpernickel, Small Pumpkin himself. I am legitimately excited for this album. Someone on Twitter asked me if I was trolling. That's twitter.com/CDTVProductions. And no, like, I'm being 100% serious. I have always legitimately been excited for this album. I genuinely think Lil Pump is overhated as a rapper because, yeah, his music isn't something that you can analyze. It's not exactly lyrical or thought-provoking, but I really enjoy it as dumb, fun, ignorant music, and that's the sound that he's going for, and I think he does it really well. I've been anticipating this so much because Lil Pump has been improving a lot recently. If you listen to Lil Pump's music from 2017 and compare it to now, he has came so far, and obviously part of that is to do with higher production values, better mixing, better production, but on top of that, he's just significantly better as a rapper and better at crafting nice, catchy, listenable songs. So yeah, long story short, I'm legitimately excited to hear this. One thing that does kind of bug me about this album going into it is the fact that we've already heard like 6 out of the 16 tracks already, and yet again someone on Twitter said to me, well, that's not too bad, we're still getting 10 new tracks. My issue with that is it's kind of like comparatively how much we've heard. Like, we've almost heard 40% of this album before it came out, and I think that's the thing that kind of annoys me. Compared to how much we've already heard, it's not a good ratio. I'm also slightly worried about how well Lil Pump can carry a 16-song project with his sound, but with all that very long rambling at the start being said, let's jump right into it with track number 1, which is called Dropout. Oh.
Harverd Dropout, bitch.
Oh, I feel so happy hearing that. I've genuinely been waiting for this album. Hey, whoa. Don't mention the Patex, Lil Pump. That's for Offset's album, which I will be getting to next. Let him keep the Patex, and you can have everything else. You can have your Gucci, your Off-White, whatever. Leave the Patex to Offset. I love that beat. The way just kind of the synths build up.
CEO, do what I say, so if not, I'ma cut his payroll. Lunch, lady, give me dirty fagos.
I just really like his flows on here. This track is really entertaining so far, and I like how he's just really going for that, you know, I used to be in Harvard and I dropped out kind of theme. Look at this. This is Lil Pump's going with a concept here. This is a concept song, and it's a banger. What more could you ask for, old heads? What more?
Ooh, dropped out, then I got rich. Dropped out, then I put a Patek on my wrist. Ooh, dropped out,
with a little beat drop as well. If you use beat drops well, it makes choruses so much catchier. And verses. It makes everything catchier, basically.
By the way, kids, stay in school.
Nice. What can I say? Well, I can't complain about that. That was a nice start to the album, I feel like. The interesting thing, I've seen such a mixed reception about this project across, you know, Twitter and whatever. I try to avoid opinions on albums before I come to them myself, but I have seen a lot of people talking about this, and there's loads of people saying it's the worst album of the year. There's loads of people saying it's really fun and enjoyable and a great, like, turn-up album. Right now, I'm falling into the second thing after that first track. I think that was a great song. I really enjoyed it. The kind of building synths the track had. Some nice hard drums, really catchy flows from Lil Pump. It's technically a song with a bit of a concept and a theme, you know. He's talking about, he's going with this whole Harvard Dropout angle that Lil Pump was someone that dropped out from Harvard and chose to be a rapper, and now he's a millionaire. Can't complain about it. It's a really good opener to the album, and kind of just like sets the theme for it, you know, sets a little precedent. So, alright, let's jump straight into track number 2. I imagine this is going to be a pretty short reaction because I'm going to put, you know, cut down reactions on the songs that I've already heard. Plus I've reacted to most of the songs I've already heard on here. The songs themselves are just short. This next one's less than 2 minutes. So let's go to track number 2, which is Nuhuh. The only thing is production, it seems very similar so far compared to this and the singles he's released.
What's your name? Lil Pump. Told that bitch, shut up. Chill. drink a lot of lean, pop a lot of pills, so you know I stay fucked up.
Okay, this track does go kind of hard, but I think the reason why I'm not getting as kind of excited about it as, you know, the previous track is this one, it already sounds really similar to Dropout. It's got those synths in the background. It very much sounds like just a very standard Lil Pump song. Like, obviously a lot of his songs sound similar, but there's not much I can point to as different on this song so far. So hopefully he comes through with really nice flows on the verses, because he's gonna need that to kind of save this one.
Ooh, nuh-uh, ooh, nuh-uh, ooh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, chip, nuh-uh, ooh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. Real drug addict, what up? Wake up in the morning, wonder how to get fucked up. Swear got shit, won't stop. 10 hoes in the yacht, even got your sis in your mouth, huh? Fail math class, 2%.
Okay, he's kind of bringing it back.
Y'all found my teacher on back page. 3 Z's and I go on a rampage.
Alright, he kind of saved it with the verse there. It's definitely nowhere near as good as the first track on the album, but I could come back to it for this verse, I think. I feel like I would like this one more, you know, if it didn't sound like so many other recent Lil Pump songs. Okay, so I pretty much gave all of my thoughts on that song right there. The hook was just okay. The beat sounded very similar to Multi-Millionaire and Dropout. Not as good as those ones, and maybe it's because I heard those ones first. I don't really know, but I didn't like this one as much. He did have cool flows on the verse. So next up we have track number 3, I Love It. I've already reacted to this song. The reaction is up on this channel. This is an interesting song to put on this album because I feel like it's just kind of here to boost streams. Because from what we know about this album, it just doesn't fit in with the sound of it, like, at all. It's completely different. And maybe there's going to be more tracks like I Love It throughout this, you know, a little bit more like kind of slow auto-tune Lil Pump, but it really doesn't sound like there is. It really doesn't sound like that's the sound he's going for on here. I remember when the song came out, I just replayed it endlessly. What makes it so catchy is the simplicity. The beat is simple, really minimalistic. The hook is simplistic. The verses are simplistic. Just all that simplicity makes it so easy to stick in your head. And that's why it's such a big hit. Plus the music video. The music video with that kind of thumbnail, it's not gonna not be huge.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck, I like my dick suck, I buy you a sick truck.
I forgot how monetization unfriendly this song is. So yeah, this one did sound kind of out of place, being put here on the album at least. I think maybe this would have worked better as a bonus track, because after Dropout and Nuhuh, it's just a complete shift to a different type of sound. I guess it's a good thing that that adds a little bit of variety to the sounds on the album, but I just think it's a really sudden shift. But yeah, like I said, my reaction to that song is up on this channel. I still think it's ridiculously catchy and a really enjoyable song. I just don't think it fits into the album that much. Up next, we have track number 4, which is I Own, which I'm assuming stands for I Don't, featuring Smokepurpp.
I don't eat food, we drug addicts.
Okay, that beat, I like the sound of this beat.
I don't need you, I don't need school, I pump beats.
Okay. The beat's not hitting as hard as I thought it would right now.
Get money like a Jew, chopper on me, get smoked like a Jew. Ain't never good to my aunt, she could come through.
Spend a whole pound on the mom probation. Fuck a nigga bitch, and I left her in the basement. Pop 10 Z's on the mom vacation. Got your mom whipping up dope butt naked. Pop 3 bricks, I forgot I graduated.
Whoa. You forgot you graduated? What happened to being a dropout? We're getting inconsistencies in the story already. Or maybe, nah, I missed it. See, it's too complex for me to get it at first. He popped 3 perks and he forgot he graduated. So maybe this whole time he just forgot that he graduated and he thought he was a dropout this whole time. He's not really. Crack the code. Okay, this album's a little bit deeper than I was expecting.
I was locked up in New York with a perk. Cut somebody, it came from the dirt. Take a nigga main and he say yes sir. Shoot a headlamp, make a fuck nigga jerk.
Okay, I think I'm gonna say that song was okay. I thought from the sound of the melody at the start of the song that the beat was actually gonna hit a little harder on this song, but when it dropped, it didn't really hit too hard. Still though, I really liked how Purpp and Lil Pump were rapping on the verses. I think the verses were nice on this song. It's not a bad song. I don't think it's horrendous. There's definitely other songs that Lil Pump and Smokepurpp have made together that I think are worse than this one, but I don't necessarily love this. Alright, track number 5 is one that I'm actually pretty excited for because it has an offset feature. Fasho Fasho featuring Offset. Let's go.
CB on the beat.
How many of these are produced by this CB guy?
You got some drink?
I've heard that producer tag so much on Lil Pump songs now.
Calling them home for sure. Service a pack for sure. Yeah, ABs on nothing. Every bitch I got like, hey baby. I left a bitch because she drive a Mercedes.
Perky decoding the attitude. Give a show on a low with your main hoe. For the show, yeah, we close to it, M though. She on Molly and I fuck her on her tiptoes.
That was another song that I think was was okay. I really don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but the beat was great on this one. I really liked the production, those piano keys. They sounded really smooth, just like all the other tracks. We've had like nice flows from Pump, but something about this one just wasn't hitting that much. I think it's the delivery maybe, because I'm not too big of a fan when Lil Pump uses this type of delivery where, like I said, it's that high-pitched delivery where he almost sounds kind of confused. It sounds like he's questioning everything that he says. And for like half of his verse, Offset used that type of delivery as well. I think that's what kind of held this one back for me. So track number 6, one that I've already reacted to. I think this was the most recent Lil Pump track that I reacted to. I'll leave the links to all the reactions in the description below that I've done to Lil Pump. I actually think he's the most reacted to artist on my channel. That's weird. But yeah, track number 6, Racks on Racks. Let's go. The amount of songs that this intro sounds like is ridiculous. Because I remember I said in my reaction video that it sounds like Don't Play by Travis Scott, and some people heard that, but then there was like 10 other different songs they said it sounded like, and it's just like that sample sounds like so many other songs. It's ridiculous.
Is you with it? Show me your titty. Early ass hoes cannot come kick it. Ooh.
Honestly, I really enjoy this song. I think it's pretty great. I think I honestly enjoy that song even more than the first time I reacted to it. It's a really enjoyable song. It goes hard. Let's move on to the next track, one that I haven't heard. This is track number 7, and it's called Off-White. Let's go. I really like Off-White. Like, I'm kind of like half and half with hype brands, but Off-White's one of the ones I really do like. Let's get right into it. This has got me intrigued. It's got a bit of a different sound to it. Like, it's still very Lil Pump style of production, but it's kind of different.
Off-white, alright. Off-white, alright. Off-white, alright. Off-white, alright. Papa's and good.
Another repetitive hook.
Off-white, white rice, Fortnite. Red.
What? That just went way like off track. Is he just naming like random shit now? Off-white, white rice, Fortnite. Pew, 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 pew. Red light.
And I got this Mexican that sell a lot of grand. Off-white, alright. Getting at my ice. Off-white, alright. Off-white, alright. Off-white, alright.
Damn, I feel like that song had a lot of potential at the start, but it just kind of went downhill as it went on and just kind of became the least interesting track on the album. The song was just completely like uninteresting. Basically just a bunch of like disconnected lines thrown into the verse, and none of them were like super entertaining or anything. So that one's probably the first like genuine just skip for me on this album. So next up, another track which I have heard. I didn't react to this one, but I have listened to it before the album came out. So again, I'm not going to put much of a reaction in the video because it's not a first reaction, which is what these videos are for. Track number 8, Butterfly Doors. How many people do you think would complain if Lil Pump put the uncensored version of this song in the album? The one with the ching chong ad lib and everything. I love this flow.
The butterfly doors. I feel like the old Gucci bitch. I'm burnt and I'm froze.
It's weird because there's nothing like super like hyped up about Lil Pump's delivery on this song, but it's just another one of those really catchy ones from him. I think the hook is super catchy. It's surprisingly not incredibly repetitive, and the verse is dope too. So yeah, that's Butterfly Doors. Enjoyable song. Don't have much to say about it because again, I've heard that one already. I just wish I went into this having heard less of it. Let's jump straight into the next track, which is track number 9, Too Much Ice, and we have another feature on this album. This is featuring Quavious. So we got 2 Migos features on here. First, Takeoff was left off Bad and Bougie. Now Takeoff is left off of Harvard Dropout. Liking the sound of this beat already. Okay, where's this gonna go though? Okay. I like the grittiness of this beat. The 808s are like buzzing. This is what I expected the beat on Ion to sound like. Interesting that he has a song with Quavo and Quavo's not doing the hook. Quavo is like a hook guy, so it's interesting that he's just got a verse on here.
Look at the ice on me dripping. Ice. Like it look like I do fitness. Put a little bitch on the miley. She wanna show me her titties. Jump out the stand with the cash. Robbing the bank, no mask.
Yeah, that's probably up there as one of the highlight tracks on this album for me. Like I said, I really like the kind of grittier sound that the beat on this one had. It was nice and hard hitting, just like Dropout was. That's the type of sound I enjoy the most from Lil Pump. I really like it when he's going over these more aggressive beats and he brings out that kind of more loud delivery. Quavo didn't provide a whole lot to the track. He just kind of came through with the same flow for the whole thing. Basically, he was just Quavo Quavo was Quavo, but Lil Pump was brilliant on here. I really liked what he did. And then up next, we have another track that I've already heard before the album. Again, reaction link down below. Multi-Millionaire featuring Lil Uzi Vert.
She finna go clean my house, then she finna suck my dick.
See, that line was censored on the when the song first dropped. No clue why, but it was. Uzi's flow on this song is dope. See, that's another interesting song, because hearing it within the context of the album, it actually fits in a lot more than I thought it would, because when I first heard that song, I remember saying that it sounded a little bit more like a Lil Uzi Vert song than it did a Lil Pump song, because of the instrumental. You know, it's got those kind of like really digital synth sounds where the synths, I don't know, the synths sound like they're being shot out, and that sounds like a very Lil Uzi type sound. Like, it just makes me picture like his album covers, but it works on here. I think it really fits into the album. This song is fairly enjoyable. I don't love it, but it's fairly good. Up next, we have track number 11, Vroom Vroom Vroom, with production from Q-Beats and Ronnie J, so I'm excited for this one. The account that used to harass me with images of Lil Pump on Twitter has talked up this song a lot, so you better not be lying to me, man. This better be some fire right here. Is he just doing like, what's it called? What's the word for it? Onomatopoeia, is that the word? I used to violate CDTV with Lil Pump on Twitter. I trusted you, man. I believed you that this was going to be the best song on the album. I was legitimately sitting here waiting for this song. That might be my least favorite one on the album. Nah, but yeah, if I'm being serious, that track was bad. I thought it would be great. Production from Ronnie J and Q-Beats. Like, I really came around to Ronnie J's beats. I love them when they're not distorted. I love when he just uses really strong 808s instead of distorted ones. But nah fam. This gets a big no from me. That reminds me of like an old school Lil Pump song where his music sounded kind of lazy. Well, at least the next track is another one that I'm actually kind of excited for. Let's just move on from Vroom Vroom Vroom. We have track number 12, Be Like Me, featuring Lil Wayne, which is a very good feature to have on a Lil Pump album. I wasn't actually expecting that. You've got the original face tat guy, Lil Wayne, one of the original Lils, with Lil Pump, you know, one of the new age face tat Lils. I don't know, I'm excited for this one. It's just really interesting to see them come together on a song. Okay.
So you know.
Oh.
Everybody
okay.
Be like me. Everybody wanna be like me.
Some weird ass melody from Lil Pump.
Everybody wanna be like me.
Oh, a little piano added onto the beat there. I feel like that kind of clashes with the bass melody a little bit, but overall I'm liking the instrumental on this.
And everybody wanna be like yeah. Everybody wanna go and smash Kim K. Ooh, yeah.
I won't object to that.
Walk around with my side bitch on a leash. I was 13 when I started sipping.
Honestly, I can't hit on this song. It just seems so fun and lighthearted.
The shoe fit weird, I can't if these not new. Little nigga, please. Y'all my enemies, but the kid is not my son. Shout out Billie Jean. If I can stop it, they gon' need some manners to me. Niggas
okay, wait.
The bitches never bit the D. I'm pouring out the facts. And 1 foot in the street, 1 foot in the sand, 1 foot in the cleats, 1 foot in the vans, 1 foot in yeah.
How many feet do you have, Wayne?
Everybody wanna be like me. There's only one eye in my ear.
Nice. That song was pretty cool, actually. I like the concept that song had. Lil Wayne and Lil Pump talking about, you know, they're imitators. I mean, whether you like it or not, Lil Pump has been kind of influential to people that do, like, meme rap kind of stuff. When people are doing parodies of rap and stuff like that, I know that's not the best example, but when people are doing parodies, they got the long Lil Pump style dreads, the face tats and everything, and Lil Wayne was kind of very influential to them as well with, you know, the face tats, drinking lean. You know, I'm not necessarily saying these were good things, but Lil Wayne kind of really popularized a lot of this stuff in mainstream rap culture. And so I kind of like how this song was set up. The hook was maybe a bit too long. I think the hook could have been shortened. Like, the song doesn't need to be that long, but Wayne's verse on here was really cool. I liked a lot of the lines he had. Yeah, he always has some intelligent lines. And yeah, Lil Pump's verse here, he was using so many just like random weird deliveries. But it worked. It made the song have a really like fun kind of carefree vibe to it. It stood out. So up next we have track number 13, the second last song on the album that I haven't heard yet, and that is Stripper Name featuring YG and 2 Chainz.
I don't know the bitch, but I know who stripper name. I don't know the bitch, but I know her stripper name. Name Alexis. Fucked her in Miami, but I left her in Texas.
Rhyming Alexis with Texas. I get the reference, but Jesus, that escalated very fast.
Yeah, that's dick that you feeling on your back.
Nice.
Like a boom, like
Why does YG always make me feel really uncomfortable with verses like this?
got a bitch named Nisha, yeah, she down to fuck. Now I don't do, so I don't do the butt. Swallow pie, swallow the snot.
YG, bro! Ah, that line. That hurt me. And I don't do. So I don't do the butt. 2 Chainz, save me, man. Save me.
My chick walk around in my ethical drop. I drive in the pussy, make a left at the wild. Got a manicure to play with the click. Walked in the club and brought some rain in this bitch.
Ironically, the song about strippers was kinda ass. Why am I getting my hopes up for these songs? I was expecting so much more from that, and that was just bad. And YG, I actually have a personal grudge against you. A personal vendetta for that line. That just drained every ounce of life out of me. I feel like I'm just like sinking into myself. And I'm like in my own sunken place after that. And that beat, the sample was cool at first, but it just got annoying after a while. Everything about that song was just weak. The best part was the 2 Chainz verse, but even then it wasn't a super strong 2 Chainz verse, you know? Track number 14, heard this one, reactions up on the channel. Drug Addicts, let's do it.
In the courthouse off of ecstasy. Goddamn,
Man,
I was too leaned out to dry the rock.
that YG line just drained me so much. I like Drug Addicts. I think it's a fun song, but YG, man, you hit me hard with that, bro. Pushing that YG line from stripper name out of my mind. The reaction to Drug Addicts is up on his channel, but I do enjoy the song. I think it's really good as a fun, light-hearted track, and I think it's good. I would like it so much more if I hadn't heard it already, though. That's the thing about this album. There's only so many tracks I can come back to because I've already listened to everything else that's been released before the album came out so much. Like, I've listened to Drug Addicts a lot, to the point where I don't really play it that much anymore. But anyway, let's save that for the end of the album where we're talking about the overall thing. Track number 15, Esskeetit. Again, reaction is up on this channel to this song, and let's just jump into it. This is one of my least favourite songs of last year, and this is from someone that likes Lil Pump in general. I don't like the song though. But yeah, not a fan of that one. I just find the beat kind of obnoxious. The best thing about it is the second verse, and then he used that for his XXL freshman freestyle, and it just devalued it so much, because if you hear something recycled anywhere, it devalues both instances of the verse, and that's the case with this one. So let's move on to the final track on the album, track number 16, Who That? Again, produced by CB Mix.
Who that nigga with the icy ass chain? Who? Gucci shirt, Gucci shoes, leather ball, man. Gucci smoking on Tuka and Calabasas. Bitch, I was dripping before I was rapping. I'm rich as fuck, but I don't pay my taxes. Who that nigga with the icy ass chain? Who? Gucci shirt.
This is the closing song to the album. Just looking back at it, I don't like the second half of this album. That's it. That's Harvard Dropout by Lil Pump. The album which I was waiting for so long, was genuinely anticipating. But we'll talk about my general album thoughts in a second. As for that song, I think it was a really bad closer to the album. This song, it just felt like a throwaway Lil Pump song. You know, the beat was kind of cool, but Lil Pump just kind of threw in one of those kind of deliveries where he sounds like he's just carelessly rapping on this song, and that doesn't draw me in any way, shape, or form. It was just, that was such a, like, skippable throwaway song to me. I didn't like that outro at all. So, overall, how do I feel about Harvard Dropout? Well, honestly, I think it was not that great. And that's a shame because, like, legitimately I was excited for this. And I actually think Lil Pump's music is really enjoyable. But maybe it's just an issue with when he does albums. Because the Lil Pump tape, I felt kind of the same. Some good songs that I'm going to pick out and listen to here and there. You know, there's like certain songs I'll pick out from it and replay a lot. But I'm rarely going to listen to the whole thing the whole way through. This album, at least on this first listen, felt way longer than 40 minutes. The thing I disliked the most was probably just the second half of the album compared to the first half. The best song in the second half was Too Much Ice. I loved that song. But it also had Vroom Vroom Vroom, which was really bad. Stripper Name, which was really bad. Esskeetit, which I just didn't like. And Who That, which was just a really bad outro for the album. The second half was not good, man. Be Like Me was another highlight on the second half, but whereas the first half, you know, we had Dropout, Nuhuh was actually kind of good now if I compare it to the rest of the album. As a whole, combined, like as a full album, it's just not that great at all. Let's just do my favorite songs. So favorite songs were Dropout, I Love It, Racks on Racks, Butterfly Doors, Too Much Ice, Be Like Me. So those were like my favorite tracks, and even then I don't love all of those tracks, but they were my favorite ones on the album. Least favorites were Who That, Stripper Name, Esskeetit, Vroom Vroom Vroom, and Off-White. Maybe this would have been a bit more enjoyable if it came out when it was originally slated to, but the fact that we had to wait so long for it, it just makes it feel really underwhelming when this is the result. And that's a shame to say, because as you could tell by the start of the video, I wanted to enjoy this. I was really like anticipating it. Also, when I heard his verse on songs like I Love It, I thought we were maybe going to hear Lil Pump experimenting a bit more with different sounds on this album, because that's a different sound to what he typically does. He doesn't typically do melodic auto-tune tracks, but everything here was just pretty much, apart from I Love It, was like straight up rapping. I want to say more positives for the album, but it's just the kind of disappointment I'm feeling is bringing out a lot more of the negatives. Hopefully on his next project we get to see a little bit more variation in the production, just a little bit more variation with the type of deliveries he does as well. I'm not asking for like an experimental album, just things where everything's switched up a bit more. So that is what I think of Harvard Dropout by Lil Pump. What did you guys think about this album? Let me know down in the comments below. Of course, you can leave a like if you enjoyed this reaction, and subscribe if you want to see more reactions like this. I'll definitely be doing well, uploading my reaction to Offset's album soon. I hope that one's good. I really do hope that one's good, and if I have time I'll record a reaction to Gunna's new album as well. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will see you all in the next one. You can find me on social media anywhere. That's Instagram and Twitter mainly, under the name CDTV Productions. And I'll see you guys all in the next one. This is CDTVThaG, signing out.